the main event at UFC 295 is not to be overlooked. The light heavyweight title is at stake as former champion Jiri Prochazka, who is making a comeback from an injury, aims to reclaim his previous title. However, he will have to defeat former middleweight champion Alex Pereira at the iconic Madison Square Garden in New York City. Initially, the main event was supposed to feature Jones vs Stipe Miocic, but due to a pectoral injury, Jones had to withdraw. As a result, the UFC has decided to make the co-main event Sergei Pavlovich vs Tom Aspinal for the interim heavyweight championship. Here are the odds, props, and predictions for UFC 295. UFC 295 main event odds. As we approach fight week, Pereira is slightly favored in the sportsbooks. The former middleweight champion's odds are around 125, making Prochazka the underdog at plus 105. UFC 295 co-main event odds. Currently, the sportsbooks have this match pretty evenly matched, with Aspinal at 118 and Pavlovich at around 102. UFC 295 betting preview. Prochazka vs Pereira. Prochazka is back for his belt after a brutal shoulder injury and a long recovery period of almost 18 months. Jiri Prochazka, 29-3 MMA, 3-0 UFC, is back in the ring. A lot has changed in the division since his absence. Jan Blachowicz and Magomed Ankalaev both failed to win the title in their fight, which ended up as a draw. Then, Jamahal Hill won the belt and vacated it after an injury of his own. Is the division cursed since Jon Jones moved up to heavyweight? Maybe. But now we have the most exciting light heavyweight title matchup in a long time. This match is a complete joy for MMA fans. Both fighters have unique personalities and backgrounds, and they are both killers in the cage with extreme knockout power and stellar striking abilities. Prochazka's return feels like that of a seasoned UFC veteran, but it's tough to remember he has only been in the UFC for 3 fights. He is, however, a veteran of Risen and is on a 13-fight win streak in his MMA career. And on top of that, 12 of those 13 wins have been finishes. That's a scary percentage for any opponent to go up against. His resume includes wins over Dominic Reyes, Glover Teixeira, Volkan Ozdemir, Muhammad Lawal, Vadim Nemkov, and many more. A win for Prochazka over Pereira would be huge for his resume. Though both guys have little UFC experience, they are both seasoned combat sports vets who have fought in various organizations around the world. And depending on Hill's recovery, the next matchup should surely be the battle between the two guys who won the belt and then vacated due to injury. Pereira looks to become a champion in 2 divisions. Alex Pereira, 8-2 MMA, 5-1 UFC, will try to become the 9th fighter in UFC history to become a champion in 2 divisions on Saturday night. With just 6 fights in the UFC, he has beaten 3 current and former UFC champions in Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya, and Jan Blachowicz. So what's a 4th in 7 fights? At least that's what Pereira and the UFC are probably thinking with this matchup. This bout will be only Pereira's 2nd fight at light heavyweight. He won against Blachowicz in a split decision back at UFC 291 in July. Pereira is known for being a champion kickboxer who has beaten Adesanya 3 times between facing off in kickboxing and the UFC. He is also known for his nasty left hook, which has dropped many men.